conducted in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertisement in the Cape May Star and Wave on the Township website and posted on the bulletin boards of Township Hall.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I would ask that we would remember Dave Rutherford, a board member, long time board member, especially in our moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Conrad.
Here.
Councilmember Perry.
Here.
Councilmember Simonson.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Clark.
Here.
Mayor Beck.
Here. We have a, before we begin the work session, proclamation. Tom?
I don't know if she's expecting this, but we have in our presence someone that's given 39 years of her township as a volunteer, along with her partner in this. They've worked hard, most of the time unrecognized. No one knows sometimes who they are. I heard her voice many times over the radio. Never got to meet her for a few years. And then it was over to, and also calling my house after midnight. And for the first about 10 years, I knew nothing about this. But she has dedicated her life to helping make Christmas better for a lot of families in this township. And the logistics and of just any type of volunteer event to try something like that is enormous, and 39 years is awesome. Dottie Crawford, hi. And Mr. Jim Dietrich. They're both with our police department. Dottie is a dispatcher, Jim as a police officer. They've done a wonderful thing, and as I said, for the longest time, it was unheralded, but for 39 years, someone deserves at least a thank you from this township for this. Mr. Mayor?
All right. The council, they took my proclamations down below. I'll read them down there. If you would come forward, please, and council will come down and surround these fine people. Thank you. Ladies first. Still look good, Dave. Come on.
It's government.
I had to lie. You wouldn't come. This is almost like getting a big reward here kind of a deal. It's even better than that. This is a proclamation honoring Dottie Crawford. Whereas Dottie Crawford was a longtime employee of the township, retiring in 2011 with over 23 years of service. Whereas Dottie, or Mrs. Claus, as the children refer to her, has been involved with the Lower Township Kids Christmas program since its inception over 39 years ago. Whereas the program started in 1976 by assisting one family and 3 children, and thanks to the efforts of Dottie, has been able to assist 26 families and 525 children in 2015. Whereas this is not just a seasonal event. Throughout the year, Dottie hosts fundraisers, collects toys and food, continually sets up logistics with other volunteers, as well as the fire departments, and is always looking to enlist the help of other Good Samaritans. Now, therefore, it is with great pleasure that I, Michael E. Beck, and the Lower Township Council do hereby extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dottie for her selfless acts of kindness, and hope that she receives back tenfold the blessings she shares with others. Thank you very much. This is for you. Good job, pal.
Thank you.
And Jim Dietrich, I think it's the same, but we're going to read it anyway, because I think you were the gentleman that came up with the idea for the Christmas, for the kids' Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. I remember you telling the story at the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, we have a proclamation honoring James Dietrich, whereas James Dietrich was a longtime employee of the township, retiring as the Lower Township DARE officer, being dedicated to the youth of Lower Township. Whereas Jim has been involved with the Lower Township Kids Christmas program since its inception over 39 years ago. Whereas the program started in 1976 by assisting one family and 3 children, and thanks to the efforts of the volunteers has been able to assist 26 families and 525 children in 2015. And whereas this is not just a seasonal event, throughout the year, Jim collects toys and food, continually sets up logistics with other volunteers, as well as the fire departments, and is always looking to enlist the help of other good Samaritans. Now, therefore, it is with great pleasure that I, Mayor Michael E. Beck, and the Lower Township Council do hereby extend our heartfelt gratitude to Jim for his selfless acts of kindness to the youth of Lower Township, and wish him many more years of successful giving. And a big thank you. If you want to move to the center, and maybe you come on over here, Jim. You want to get in the front. You guys are the stars. We can all slide in together. Smile pretty. Nice work. Take care. Thanks again, Don. See you, brother. See you out there.
Stop, generic.
Okay, we get down to the work session, and we have the second annual Relay for Life presentation. Councilman Conrad?
This is a community event. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we have 2 people that know a lot more about it. We're trying to grow this in Lower. Almost everybody here, their lives have been touched by cancer in some way. People don't necessarily see what the American Cancer Association is doing to try this, to fight cancer and come up with a cure. But this is one of the fundraisers for finding that cure and getting legislation to make everybody healthy. And I will now turn it over to Kirby Reed and Miss Buffy Miller. And please.
Hi, I'm Buffy, and I am the event lead for. So, my name's Buffy Hinker-Miller. I'm the event lead for the Relay for Life of Lower Township. This is Kirby Reed. I'm a volunteer. Kirby actually works for the American Cancer Society, and our second annual event is going to be held May 14th and 15th. It's an overnight event, and the relay happens throughout the country and the world. It's the #1 fundraiser for the American Cancer Society, and in Lower Township, it'll start at 2 o'clock on the 14th and run through overnight until 6 a.m. on the 15th. And what the relay is all about, it starts with an opening ceremony followed by a survivor lap, which to the American Cancer Society, any person that has ever heard the words, "you have cancer," whether it's 1 day, 1 year, 10 years since you've heard those words, you're considered a survivor. Whether you're going through active treatment, you're finished treatment, or you're considered cancer-free. And after the survivor lap, we ask caregivers to join those survivors, and then we open the walking to everyone. And it's not a race, it's an overnight event where each team has someone walking at all times, because cancer's a 24-hour battle. When you're fighting it, there's no downtime, and the relay is meant to represent that to the participants.
So what are we looking for from the community? We'd like you to sign up, form a team with your family, friends, coworkers, and fundraise. There's no registration fee to participate in Relay for Life and no minimum fundraising requirement. So come on out, see what it's all about, meet your American Cancer Society, and let us show you what we can do for you and the programs and services that we offer. You can also purchase luminaria from us. These are $5, and you can put pictures on it, decorate it. These line the track at Lower Cape May Regional. We have a luminaria ceremony. They're dedicated to people who have lost the battle, those who are currently fighting. And if you're going to come out for any part of relay, that's the time I really recommend, because you'll really see what it's all about. You can also sponsor our event. We have a lot of different sponsorship levels, and we celebrate survivors. Like Buffy said, this is really an event that celebrates the survivors in our community. And we want you to invite a friend, somebody who's never been to Relay before. Maybe it's you. So we'd love to have you out there. If you want to learn more about your American Cancer Society and Relay for Life, I encourage you to visit us April 5th right here at Township Hall from 6 to 8. We'll have an open house. There'll be different stations. You can ask us questions, meet our committee, and really learn what this event is all about. Our website's right there. You can go on there, sign up online. It takes about 2 minutes, very easy. Like Buffy mentioned, Relay for Life is the #1 fundraising event on the planet. And it started in 1985 with one man, Dr. Gordy Klatt. He walked a track in Tacoma, Washington, and raised $27,000. Relay, as of today, has raised over $5 billion because we're worldwide. Here are just some pictures of relays from around our communities. Like I had mentioned, it takes place at Mainland Regional High School, so we have a beautiful venue. What did I say? I also do Linwood's event. I apologize. So Lower Cape May Regional, which is actually my favorite venue. So that picture right up there is of Buffy and Bruce, her husband, who's also our logistics lead, after we were up for, I think, it was probably about 36 hours straight at that time, because it takes a small village to run this event, and we're also always looking for volunteers to help us. So all of the money that is donated at Relay for Life, where does that go? As Tom had mentioned, it goes toward research, valuable research to help us find cures. And it also goes to programs and services that are available right here in the community. We have Look Good, Feel Better, which is a workshop for women who are currently going through a cancer diagnosis, and it helps them with the chemotherapy-related side effects, free wigs, makeup tutorials, how to pamper their skin, because everything changes when you're going through treatment. And we have those workshops right at Cape Regional, Shore Medical Center, Atlanticare. You can call up any of those hospitals or call us, and we'll help you get set up. We also have rides to treatment, road to recovery. If you need a ride to your treatment or an appointment, you can call us, and we have a network of volunteers who will help you get there. And if you'd like to be a volunteer, we are more than happy to have you. We're always looking for new drivers. We also have, which a lot of people don't know about, but our National Cancer Information Center hotline. That's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call that to find out about clinical trials, to find out about maybe some programs that are available in your community, like what some local things are. I know we just helped somebody on our committee find some different access to treatment. We help with finding ways to get through loopholes. But you can call that 24/7. Yep. Research programs. So it's, and like I said, call that at 3 o'clock in the morning if you want. We're there. Let's see. We also have our Cancer Action Network, which Tom is actually our lead for that. So if you have questions about how you want to keep cancer a top priority in our legislative arenas, please see him. He'll tell you all about that, because we want to make sure that funding for cancer research doesn't go away. Every dollar is so important. And if you haven't noticed by now from our different slides, our theme this year is Olympics. So since we are in an Olympic year, we'll have a lot of fun Olympic-themed activities to do, and it's for all ages. So I hope you will join us, because we relay for everybody on here and more. Mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, friends. Like Tom said, everybody here is either personally touched or knows of someone. So again, I ask you to sign up fundraise, celebrate those survivors, and just get involved in some way. Thank you so much for your time.
I believe you're done.
Thank you. Most informative.
Does anybody have any questions? Candidates?
Is that, anybody out there have questions? Okay, we'll move down to Norris, youth signage. Explain that one.
So our next presentation has grown out of the Delaware Bayshore Council, which you've heard us discuss. This is a gathering of 16 municipalities along the bay and looking to protect and preserve and promote the Delaware Bay. At our last meeting, these meetings have been attended by the mayor and myself and also Manager Ridgway. We had a presentation by Laura Chamberlain, who is going to be here tonight, to talk about signs along the Bayshore. I don't know, those of you that might have listened to the radio around the 70s might have remembered that song about signs, everywhere the signs, messing up the scenery, breaking my mind, do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign? So we've got a lot of signs along the bay, and they've been all made by adults, so they don't always look that great. So the concept here that Laura is going to be talking about is that the young people of our county have put together some signs that they think would deliver a really important message to the folks that are enjoying our Delaware Bayshore. So I'm going to turn it over to Laura Chamberlain, who represents an environmental organization called Menomet. And Laura, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Yes, so again, my name is Laura Chamberlain, and I work for an organization called Manomet. And what I do for them is I'm part of the Western Hemisphere Shorebird Reserve Network. We have 92 sites throughout the entire Western Hemisphere that are protecting critical habitat for shorebirds. And the Delaware Bay, as many of you might know, was the very first site 30 years ago. This is our 30th anniversary. And the Delaware Bay, because of the connection between the horseshoe crabs and their eggs and the shorebirds that are migrating through to the Arctic, has played a critical role for shorebirds for many, many years, long before we were here, and hopefully for many more years after we're gone. And so what we want to do, and as you know, they're here, they come through, they're on our Bayshore beaches, particularly villas down in this area. And we do have some, restrictions on those beaches, and but we want to take those restrictions and turn them into a positive light. And we also want to create a way for people to get involved and take action, because there are a lot of things that people can do to be a part of this conservation effort. And so we have worked with local schools. So part of what I do is do education in classrooms to create these really awesome signs, and we're going to be creative about how we share them here. All right, to help share that message. So this one says, return the favor, give the crabs a hand, I got you, turn me over. Thank you. Oh, am I speaking loud enough though?
I think it's working.
Okay. All right, help the Delaware Bay, eat in peace, turn us over. So it's not just about the shorebirds, it's about the horseshoe crabs as well. They oftentimes, when they're down there on the beaches, they get flipped on their backs, and we have a program called Return the Favor where we are bringing out volunteers, and last year we had over 800 people came out throughout the entire Delaware Bay, 18 beaches in New Jersey. So over 800 people are getting involved in this, and we want even more. Shh, shorebirds eating here. So it's we're trying to take a positive message here, and I should say I did give the students a few samples, but they came up with new ones, and now I use their messages when I do new classroom presentations, because they're way more creative than me. This one says, shorebird rest stop, what a meal. And then here's one, flip me over. So again, these are real signs that would be the sample of what they'd look like when they go out on the beach, so that they'd be about that size. We put a small banner on the bottom. We want the highlight to be the student artwork, but we put a small banner on the bottom just telling the story in case someone comes upon them and doesn't know what they're about, and then a website where they can learn more about taking action. These signs, for the most part, they don't say, do not enter, don't go here. These are inspirational signs that help people learn more about what's going on there.
So When would these signs be proposed to go up?
We would like to put them up hopefully by mid-April to late April, depending on when we get them back from the print shop. We have a few of these are from Cape May, but we now have more from Cape May, so they need to get to the print shop, and then we'll get them back. And once we get them back, we'd like to get them out right away. Hopefully, we would use existing posts that are already out there. So we know there's already a lot of signs, so there's already a lot of posts. So hopefully we can add, we use just a plain screw. They go in, they stay in. We've used similar signs out on the ocean beaches, and even out there with the rough weather that they get, they stay in place, and they're weatherproof, UV protected. And we'd be focusing on the key access points where there's either a lot of visitors or a lot of birds or crabs.
Okay. You're going to put them up and take them down? Is that the plan?
Yep, I will pay for them, put them up, take them down. They can stay up year-round, but they can come down as well. A few people have chosen to keep them up, but we can take them down too, no problem.
Sounds good. You guys like it, or what do you think?
I like the idea. I would like to talk to some of the residents along that area, because you get the ones that don't like signs, and you want like the ones that want more signs. I just want to get a rough idea where they're standing on that. The idea is great.
When do you have to know before you put them up?
Let's say April 15th, April 20th. Would that give you enough time to talk to residents? Would it be helpful to highlight the specific access points?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that to Councilman Clark as soon as possible, and then you can start reaching out to those that are nearby those access ones.
Okay.
Is this a contest, or how do students select it? Like, how do you select which artwork?
Great question. We have a group of partners, some of the local scientists, as well as teachers and other nonprofits, organizations in the region we'll kind of narrow them down, and then we'll still let the township go through those and say, these are the ones that we like that fit our beaches, and we will focus on Cape May students as well, so we kind of have them separate. We have Cumberland County, Cape May.
Is Lower Township included? The Lower
Didn't
Township
have
students?
any classroom presentations with anyone in Lower Township, unfortunately. So if you'd like to, in the future, help me make some connections in there, and I'd be happy to do that. But this year, most of the signs for Cape May are coming from Crestwood Memorial Elementary School. So
Sounds like a plan. So you're going to find out,
She's
get
going
the
to get us the
access,
access point.
and then
Yep.
you'll give her.
Then we'll get
And Norris has your
Yep.
information, so as soon as
Thank
Tom
you,
does
Laura.
some due diligence and talks to the neighbors, then we can get to you and those places where nobody has any objections. I mean, they look like, they certainly add a little color to the beach, so.
hopefully they're positive. And
Yeah, they're all positive
And they're
too.
coming at the right cost, so.
Yeah,
free.
I mean, I can't imagine there'd be a lot of people that would be against it, but I guess
I can speak for my street.
your street.
And I'll
Yeah, well-
provide the specs too, and maybe like a little sample postcard that would be helpful.
That would
to
be
show.
great.
That would be awesome.
I think
Or-
location is going to be a major factor to where they're going to go.
Or if you get like email the clerk with some of them, it's just easy sometimes going out there and showing them on your cell phone. Here's the pictures, here's what we're looking at.
No problem.
Nice job.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. I think it's easy to forget what we have over there sometimes. I remember watching National Geographic one time live from Villas, New Jersey, on one of like PBS or whatever, talking about the horseshoe crabs. So,
I actually got offended one time because they did that and they were over on the Delaware side.
well,
Over here.
they had it. They had Villas, New Jersey. Anyway, that's that. So we're now down to the consent agenda. Questions or comments on the consent agenda, council? I do for Mr. Dave. And I'm just curious about, and what's the number on this thing? Hold on, it's about the Route 109. We bounced that back and forth about the one-way street. And at one point, is there any increase at all to us in liability? Because we had, I mean, it's kind of almost convoluted when we sit back and go through the history, and I think Eric was involved from day one, and he did an awesome job with it. I'm just saying that I'm looking at this, and they wanted that street one way, correct?
Yes,
You-
but
You would know that.
they wanted it
Which would have,
one way going out towards the parkway. We
Yeah.
fought for one way going in because the only way to get to urgent care would have been to go through Tranquility. That was our battle. It was too,
I thought we were two-way in the beginning.
no, no. We were two-way, it's two-way right now.
Yeah,
And they did say after Senator Van Drew got involved also, that they would switch it the other way to, at our request because of the number of people we have going to, using urgent care
right.
and talking to the owner of the establishment next door who said if he put a fence there, you wouldn't be able, because it was becoming a drive-through. But what they've now done
Right.
is, instead of changing it the other way, they're gonna leave it as it was. It's gonna
Okay.
be two ways as it's been for the last 20 years.
And the question I have, at one point, I believe there was something that was written, correct me if I'm wrong, it said something about the fact that a change would put some kind of onus on us as far as responsibility goes. Okay, now, what I'm saying is, and what drew my attention to it, is the letter we have that says this design change is made at the request of Lower Township. And the only thing, and look, we totally support this. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and we certainly want the bat for urgent care. I'm just trying to say, is there an increase in potential liability for us?
I would say if there is, it's minimal because of the way the immunities work and we're allowed to allocate resources and do things as a township. Now, if we did something that we knew was dangerous, it would be a different story. But
Yeah, the way they originally phrased it, and I think when we went back to the way it was kind of like, well, if you make this change, it's on you.
But isn't it on us anyway?
I think, well, I was,
That's,
Well, that's the
I was
thing.
gonna
That's what it kind of looks that way. And the next question I have is that if due to the design change, the state says, well, they're the ones that asked for this change. If there's an accident there, does JIF cover that?
we would still be covered for anything that we're covered for. And I think the way the immunities work and the way liability works, we would have to know that it's a dangerous situation. We'd have to be on notice of it. A lot of water would have to flow under the dam. And I doubt very much the state's saying, we think this is dangerous, it's on you, you're changing it, but we think it's dangerous. Because if they ever did that, we wouldn't do it. But we're
Well, it was
allowed
pretty close to that one letter that went,
I haven't seen any letters, but I doubt.
That was going back a little while ago, Jim, you remember. And I'm just being honest, I support the project. I just want to make sure that we're not putting ourselves into a position where down the line, if there's an accident, the state turns around and says, well, we told you so. And
No, they didn't tell us it was dangerous. They told us that, you requested the change. But
All right.
they have to approve it, do they not?
Well,
And-
yeah,
DOT.
and I think the change is actually going to make it a lot safer at that point because they're
Yeah.
eliminating some curves. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think that's one of the intended results, that it is going to be actually safer.
well, it'll be safer as far as the path going through there. But having two-way traffic, I'm not sure. But that being said, you're balancing that because it certainly was a severe impact on not only residents, but also the businesses in that area. And I get that, and I support that. I'm just a little concerned that it may increase our liability.
Well, one of the other things was that the emergency vehicles, ambulances and such, wouldn't be able to get in and out of there like they can now. And that would put, obviously, if someone didn't make it to the hospital in time, that would put the onus on the people doing the project if they demand it one way. Again, we did argue to keep it two way.
Yep.
And from what I remember, that was, it was determined, I guess Ron Galzunas was a solicitor then, that either way, there's liability. I mean, if there's an accident there, it really doesn't matter if it's two-way or one-way, you know, depending on how the how the accident happens. Obviously, if it's the driver's fault, it's the driver's fault. But it's the other side of the coin was if there's a problem with an emergency vehicle getting in and out of there that causes more harm to, say, a patient from urgent care, that they could be liable as well. So it's 6 half dozen the other, and
We're not excluded by JIF or any of our carriers for that. Typically, if there's a lawsuit, we're getting named anyway.
Well, I get that. I was just concerned, based upon, you know, the fact that he included in there about this design change comes at the request of the township kind of a deal, and it threw an antenna up, and I didn't think there was any harm in asking you if you saw that.
I think the timing, depending on the emergency, if you were coming down Route 9 and knowing you could go around there to get the urgent care, but now you have to go through Tranquility. Tranquility there is confusing, Mayor.
Yeah.
You go in, if you've been in there a lot of
I've been in
I
there.
know a lot of people go in and go, "Gee, you know, I made the wrong turn, or it could take you an extra 5 minutes, and 5 minutes could make a difference."
There's not a lot of good options in this. I mean, you know, it's a tough situation where it's located, and we have to basically deal with the cards as they're dealt. All right, just bringing it up in case you saw something that maybe we need to look at. Is there any other questions on the consent agenda? Open up for public comment on the consent agenda. Close the public portion.
Approval of New Jersey State Firemen's Membership Application, Matthew Stone, Villas Volunteer Fire Company, Timothy Gipple, Irma Volunteer Fire Company. Approval of minutes, March 7th, 2016. Resolutions number 2016-87 through 2016-104, and ordinance number 2016, 03. This is a bond ordinance amending bond ordinance 2015-10, which provides for drainage and stormwater management improvements and associated road work to Roseanne Avenue and Bay Shore Estates, heretofore finally adopted by the Township Council of the Township of Lower in the County of Cape May, State of New Jersey on October 19th, 2015, to amend the description set forth therein to include the acquisition of real property. This is the first reading of this ordinance. The second reading and public hearing is scheduled for April 4th.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2016-105. This is approval for a payment to Lower Cape May Regional School District for 50% of a portable scoreboard.
Okay, is there any council comments on this? Any public comments on this? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. Move down to administrative reports. Are there any questions on that? If not, we go to Councilman Conrad.
This is the second meeting where we had the approval of New Jersey State Firemen's Membership Application. I would like to let everyone just look at that. This is what helps us a lot. We have a very strong volunteer fire departments in this township, and these are all pretty much young members that have been there for a little bit, completed their training. Usually it's just something we pass over, and I wanted to say something last meeting and totally forgotten. But this time, I'm looking at these names, and it's showing our fire company's still growing. I remember when some of these were kids, and actually when some were born, which is scary. But it's good to see that our volunteers are still out there and helping this community, because some of you really don't know what the volunteer firefighters put out there and how much training and commitment they have to be a member of a fire company. I'd like to thank the Township's Recreation Department for their egg hunt. Another successful year. They did a wonderful job. And Dave.
Well, happy spring, everyone. A little surprised with the snow in the morning. Thank goodness it was just a little bit. Spring is here, as you can hear me allergies are here also, so that time of year. We're close to summer, so hopefully we'll be gearing up to welcome our seasonal residents to back to Lower Township and our visitors. So hopefully we have a nice, safe spring and summer coming up. And last but not least, Happy Easter.
I'd like to congratulate our own Eileen Kreis on a great event for New Jersey Run for the Fallen again. I know a lot of people helped out, but she was the driving force, and I know does so much work for it to raise money for the families of our heroes right here in New Jersey that have lost their lives fighting for our country. So kudos to Eileen. It was a great event. And also just anyone that's interested, make sure you get involved with the Relay for Life. Last year was a great event, and I'm glad that we're bringing it back for a second year at Lower Cape May Regional. I know my daughter and I will be captaining our team again if anyone wants to join up. We met our goal and then some last year, so like I said, it's a great event. Even if you're not involved in it, to stop by and check it out and see what's going on. It's really a great cause, and it gets a lot of community involvement, which is nice to see. And hopefully the weather will be better than this morning. So with that, have a safe and happy Easter. Thank you.
I'll cede my time to the mayor.
Ah, well, that's awful nice. Just to expound on what I was talking about, Dave Rutherford, he's been there forever, since the inception of the Environmental Board, and the guy was just a total resource of information. We have a lot of the unsung heroes who sit on these boards, and this was his passion. And on behalf of the entire Environmental Board, we just want to express our condolences to his family and thanks for his contributions. I know Frank Sirocco and I were talking before the meeting, and I don't think that there was an issue in the township involving environmental issue or wetlands or anything like that he didn't have just a complete encyclopedia inside his head about the issue. So he will be missed. All right, and with that, we'll open it up to call to the public. If anybody wishes to address council, raise your hand, step forward. Yeah, Frank.
Frank Sirocco, Lower Township. I don't know how many people knew Dave Rutherford, but Dave Rutherford was a mountain of information. He knew more about creeks and trails and different types of weeds. It's strange to say, but he really knew his business, and he's been on the environmental committee, I think, oh God, I don't think anybody knows how long, because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And he'll be very sorely missed.
Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else wish to address council? Close the public portion.
Resolution number 2016-106, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act 10:4-12. This is to discuss collective bargaining agreement update and the lease of real property, the public safety building.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Okay.
Resolution number 2016-107, a resolution authorizing the leasing of certain real property located in the Township of Lower from the County of Cape May. This is for 405 Breakwater Road. It's the public safety building.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to table?
A second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2016-108, a resolution authorizing the sale of certain real property located in the Township of Lower to the County of Cape May. This is for 405 Breakwater Road, the Public Safety Building.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to table.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.